Hi guys. Well, it is the end of this 8 weeks, and I don't know where the 8 weeks went. And while I honestly can't remember about two of them because of my surgery, I do know that I have learned so much in this class, and it has opened my eyes to this new genre of fiction, of literature that I had no idea that I would enjoy. And I guess that would be my aha. Not necessarily about this week's reading, but about the class as a whole. That this really is something that I enjoy reading. And that surprised me, caught me a little off guard because I kind of came in thinking that this was going to be a really hard class for me to get into, and right out of the gate with Son of Rain and Lightning, I was kind of hooked. So I have enjoyed all of the books that we have read. There have been a few exceptions to some of the motifs in them that I really didn't like in Body Work, some of the things that were going on with Nadia and Allie, and I realized that and kind of brought it home in my brain and in my heart when I read one of the stories in The Blue Religion. It was one that we didn't have to read, but I had read most of the book when I realized that we didn't have to read all of it and only had to do those three stories. So one of those stories was about a young girl who was repeatedly raped by her stepfather, and it was just, I just hate that, and it's why I don't watch crime fiction on TV, because it just really bothers me that there's so much crime against just innocent people, and it's why this genre has really never been something that I've sought out on my own to read as enjoyment. So, but I really didn't have all that much objection to the things that we've read, and it's been more about the whodunit, and someone pointed that out early in the class, that they're not scary, and it's really interesting to figure out who did what and how it all came together. And so for the most part, I did just really enjoy the class and learning more about the investigator and the detective and the police procedural. And I think when you kind of get into the nitty-gritty and start studying it a little more, it creates a different outlook on the literature as a whole than just reading it just because. So I think that's the biggest aha from the class. In terms of The Blue Religion, I really enjoyed the three stories that we read this week because they kind of spanned plot lines and characters, and the authors were also very different. I enjoyed kind of the humor in one, even though it was kind of dark humor. I enjoyed the heartache in one, not necessarily the heartache, but it was so interesting to read and kind of get into his mind. And so I think that it was the aha from The Blue Religion for me would really be the burden of the badge and what comes with it, and how the lives of these investigators and detectives and police officers and all of those in this field, it makes you think kind of more about their families and what they go through, and not necessarily how annoying it is when they pull you over for speeding. So it's been, that was really interesting to me, and reading most of the stories in The Blue Religion and seeing all of that come together. So a couple of ahas from the week and from the class as a whole. So I have enjoyed going back and looking at some of the videos and discussion posts that really pulled all of these things out from the class over the 8 weeks. And I thank all of you for such robust discussion. And I have just really enjoyed conversing with all of you and watching your videos, and I hope that you've had as much fun in the class as I have. So I wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and this is me signing off.